maybe Eric
Eric
knows.
is here. Eric is here, maybe.
Maybe not. You there?
Maybe not. But I guess in general, we ought to be having these kinds of feature flags both for upgrades and downgrades when we're introducing new methods. I know RBD has like the RBD features for controlling what the client side is using on the OSDs. I'm not sure if RGW and FFS have the similar facilities that they require, or if those still need to be built out. I think at least for the upgrade case in RGW, there's some missing feature flag style thing.
Yeah, RGW is the one that we're going to need to be most worried about here, and yes, they're not in the call right now, so we'll have to reach out to them.
RBD is also building more and more things off of the OSD min required version, client min required version stuff, so we know what the baseline is, and then we start doing things differently.
Yeah, I think that's probably the easiest way to go if you don't ever need to backport anything like that requires those things. Just rely on the major release upgrades.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, if you also said like, well, if you wanted to expand that out or whatever, yeah. So it's Octopus Point 2 or whatever. Right now it's
if we're going to support downgrading them, we are by policy not allowed to ever do that. So like the point of those is that those are when we change the on-disk state that precludes older daemons from being allowed to do any operations. So.
Or we would have to make a deliberate choice in a particular release series that we are deciding consciously not to support downgrades from .5 to .4 because of critical thing X thing. Maybe at least document, right? So that it's clear what. Hang on.
How would that work from a messaging perspective?
It would be in the release notes. This is a special point release in that you cannot downgrade from it. Once you go to .5, you can't go down. Whatever, I don't know.
I mean, I have to assume, I bet we'll do that at least once, even after we do commit to not to allowing downgrades. But like, even with the major releases, we have a lot of problems with people who don't read the big important text at the top of the upgrade notes. And if we announce that we allow downgrades on minor releases, I think there are going to be a lot of people who never, ever look at that stuff.
So we have a very good test suite and be very careful about how we're doing it.
Yeah, that's where our automated testing and stuff can help, right? If there's any feature going in, then you should have those trigger by default.
Yep. It could be an extra flag you have to specify when enabling the feature bit too, or when enabling the feature. I mean, if you're backporting something that actually persists something that isn't backwards compatible in a point release, you should probably give the user the option not to do it. Anyway.
Yeah, I think what I was thinking of was we may want to go even further than that and also give them a way to roll that back if necessary.
Well, that's definitely an offline thing, right?
I think that once you get into that realm, the exact details of the state change are going to matter.
Yeah, it's more relevant to a specific fix.
Yep. I mean, if you bothered to backport something like that to a point release, it was presumably important. So it would depend.
But I mean, if we're going to be that ambitious, like, we don't need to decide, but how are you thinking that would ever work, Josh?
Like Sam said, it depends a lot on the state change. For something like RGW bucket index format change, that could be pretty complex, but presumably there's some kind of migration path in the forward direction. There could be some kind of migration path in the reverse direction too.
It could be something like a bucket property, where at least you have the option of simply not accessing that bucket. Things of that nature. It would depend.
So that sort of be our target, though, is that if we ever do a breaking change like that, we expect to write a downgrade component to it.
Or like if you're backporting a breaking change, this is among the things you have to think about
Yeah.
a lot.
It feels like all of this is not about making rules, but about identifying the important considerations and making a decision based on the information that makes sense at the time.
Well, I mean, that's
So
the
if
thing,
there's
though. I
a-
think it
if there's
does have to be about
correction-
making rules, because if it's not something that we have rules strong enough that people can rely on, then they can't rely on it, so there's not any point.
Or look, no process is ever going to be perfect. There's always going to be something that.
I agree with that, but I mean, like, people are going to write contracts around this that, you know, some of us are going to have to support. And that scares me. So
You have to look at this based on the context. If there is a problem in Blue Store that is a data loss corrupting issue, and the way to fix it is to not allow you to downgrade back to the thing that was broken, then like you're deciding, well, do I want to allow people to downgrade to the .1 release that is like broken and they should never run, or am I just going to say we're not allowing downgrades? And you can decide. You can based on the situation.
Actually, I'm not sure that's the best example. A better example would be you need to do something to boosters on disk state to fix the bug.
Right.
That's the worry.
Yeah.
Like it's not that you're just arbitrarily disallowing downgrading and stuff.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at. That's what I meant to say. But usually when the situation is severe enough to make that kind of change, it's probably also the case that you really don't want them to run that version anyway. And so I'm not sure that disallowing a downgrade to that version. Who made the comment in the pad that we should never include the .0 and .1 releases in the rule?
I did. It also eliminates having to look at release notes if that's like a blanket policy. It gives us the one shot to if something went wrong with the 0 release, which is maybe where there's more likely going to be a problem. Plus, if that's known, then you don't have to worry about release notes and yeah.
I mean, certainly, the longer the release has been around, the more
Conservative.
the worse it would have to be to do something like this.
Yep.
But you could have people that only upgrade to the 1 releases when they do a major upgrade, so they know when they go to 2, they can go back to 1, etc. from that point forward. Because you might have somebody that never will go to the 0 release.
Not sure, but it seems like if people are already kind of confused by version numbers enough as it is, just saying that this one is special might be even more confusing.
I mean, I'm imagining that what's probably likely to happen is that the .0 release, even if we like gave ourselves this get out of jail free card, there aren't any issues between .0 and .1, and so we do support releases for downgrades. And then on .2 or whatever, I don't know.
That's true.
It feels to me like the most important thing is less about deciding rules now, up front in a vacuum, but more about defining what steps we should be taking to create the test suite to actually give us this confidence.
Yeah, that's why I was going for here. What we can do next to create the test suite and brainstorming other areas that we may need to keep in mind for future backports.
Yeah.
So I think start out. Perhaps I can work with Yuri to start a downgrade suite based on the existing PTP suite, and then we can start trying to add more workloads once that works for the existing ones, which are probably just RBD and Rados, I think, for today.
Yeah.
So in addition to developer output, are there some like Jenkins tests we can write that would start flagging issues in backports? Like probably anything that changes a number inside of an encode start block should be default rejected or something.
That's a good idea. If you can make a programmatic thing that just catches those changes so they get flagged for additional review.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we reject them outright because that's often a valid choice to have that compatible encoding, but you can flag warnings or something like that.
Yep. Yeah. That'd be a pretty easy script to write, I think, right? just do a diff and look for encode or decode for definitions. Yeah, feature set H.
And Sage, you mentioned that like Keith was looking at the corpus stuff in the past. And we can ask him if he got
Yeah.
anywhere with that.
Yeah, automating generation of subjects. And then, so once we have that, then we can add modify readable to do. It's a little bit weird because you need an old build of the code running against the new build of the thing, so it'd be a slightly convoluted process.
Yeah, we have to check out a different object corpus, essentially.
But you want the new object corpus, but the old code. So, and be running this in a pull request that is generating, or in Technology maybe, but yeah, anyway. It'll be a little bit awkward to write, but I think it's a good idea. And if we have an automated tool to generate more representative corpus objects, then that'll help a lot. Could conceivably doing during check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. That was all I had in this topic. I think we got good next steps there. So
yeah,
everyone.
Yeah, I like it. Progress. All right. Well, that's it on the agenda. Anybody else have anything they want to bring up before everyone collapses from exhaustion? All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
You guys.